Sometimes you need positive discrimination.
if it's done correctly.
Be in the present, and everyone should have an opportunity.
You ain't going to be a good bodyguard in a wheelchair, are you? No disrespect.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Are we recording? Take one. Run the tape.
Inclusion. Discuss.
So I think, well, it depends, innit? What you're talking about is a grey area there. Like I'm saying, I wouldn't want no women between 16 and 18 trying to save me from a burning building. Can't you say there'd definitely be a hindrance there if you're trying to bring young women in to be firefighters, right?
I think generally,
We're talking generally.
yeah. So generally, inclusion is a good thing.
Huh?
I think generally inclusion is a good thing.
But for what purpose, though?
Yeah, because there will be people who, for certain reasons, wouldn't be included in society.
But do you know why?
Because of various reasons.
No, I don't think inclusion is a hindrance to progress. They should be looked at for, whether or not they can, complete the job to the best of their ability.
Where there's a bit of conflict for me is where people are over including to tick a box to make themselves look like they're including people. The people vetting your application can't be unconsciously or consciously biased towards who you are or where you're from or what your gender is or your age or anything like that. They'll just look at your application. So I think there's a positivity in that. It's always about who's the best person to do the job and giving everyone the chance to apply for it.
We've recently had an example in the Royal Air Force where that situation happened, and it was in the media for a whole period of time. But I think there's a bit of me that also feels that where you've been in a situation where it's been the other way for a long time, sometimes you need positive discrimination to redress the balance.
Yeah.
And with the Royal Air Force, they were positively discriminating against white men and were primarily trying to hire people of ethnic minorities into those roles. I guess the idea behind it was they wanted to redress, because I would think probably in the Royal Air Force 95% are white men, and I guess they wanted to redress that imbalance by possibly employing more women and more people from Black, Asian, minority backgrounds. I'll go further probably and talk about South Africa, where after the abolishing of apartheid, I think there was positive discrimination by trying to make or put into certain positions people who were indigenously African into positions that of authority, because actually most of those jobs or positions were held by Afrikaans. And so in order to redress the imbalance that had been put in place because of apartheid, they had to put positive discrimination practices in place to give opportunity to people who otherwise would not have been given those opportunities. So I think there are instances where possibly it's a good idea.
All right, so first of all, when you're saying like whites, what do you mean by whites, yeah?
In the context of South Africa, it's the Afrikaans who were controlling South Africa prior to the abolishing of apartheid.
So what, they could be black people then, yeah?
No.
Okay, so what is what? Do I come under that category of whites?
No.
Okay, so what? See, these lot would have thought that. I would have thought that. So when you're saying that, explain to me, bro, because like I'm saying, we're talking about inclusion here, and you're saying they tried to include more whites.
No. They were trying to basically positive discrimination in South Africa was trying to include more Africans of African descent into government and into positions of power, because within the apartheid regime, they were shut out of it because they were seen as black. And also I think they had the caste system there as well. So all the black people always were given the more menial jobs. And they were literally that was what they were only given in most cases. So by removing apartheid, there was the opportunity for people who were equally skilled to be able to get some of those jobs. And so when they go out and advertise for jobs, they will specifically try and fill those jobs in with black people, because over history, the jobs had never been given to either black people in those countries, in that particular country.
Second of all, so is it a hindrance or not? Are you saying it is or not?
So I think I used it. I think I said Afrikaans.
I know, but I'm saying it's still that. Are you saying it's a hindrance, like, to include them or not, like?
So,
because it can be, innit?
It depends based on the
Right.
example that you gave.
All right, look, put it this way.
It's progressive if you're
Yeah.
doing it for the right reason.
Let me put them. Would it be a hindrance for Africa, yeah, if tomorrow, yeah, a bunch of Irish dudes, yeah, was to be running the government? Because we're including them because they're Irish. Would it be a hindrance then? Would it be okay? There you go then. See, there's a big grey area in it. So when you're talking about race, inclusion, a hindrance, and of course it is. But listen, if my kids are going to try and help me build a wardrobe, I know they're going to hinder me. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to help me. Stay away. You're going to try and help. It's nice, but cool. You're going to hinder that. Just inclusion, man. Just you trying to be fair, but it's being stupid. Don't you think maybe that the education's just changed there so that now black people are educated enough to take them roles on, blood?
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably things have changed. I'm not from South Africa.
Well, I'm saying if you're going to try and include people just to say they're inclusive, then it's just stance already. Because let me tell you, the double standards in racism is still racism, bro.
So in the case of South Africa,
Yeah, I saw that in the documentary.
That's apartheid.
yeah, so where it was deliberate,
Yeah.
where all the jobs, all the positions went to Afrikaans. In that instance, are you saying that it's a bad idea for Africans who are equally experienced and have all the experience that could do the job shouldn't get the job?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whoever gets it should have to do it. But you're talking about that. Remember, look, what happened in Rwanda? Huh? What happened in Rwanda, bro?
Okay, let's.
No. What happened in Rwanda, bro?
What are you gonna start on?
You can see, bro.
3, 2, 1.
How much countries are there in Africa?
There's about 50.
About 50 odd, yeah. How you know? But hold it.
I do have my granddad's
Hold Africa.
from
You're choosing
Kenya.
out one part, lad, yeah, and saying, yeah, this whole racist thing is the tip, the southern tip here of Africa. Yeah, the whole madness is happening because whites and blacks really don't like each other. Then don't you think the rest of the blacks in Africa could come and just take out them whites easy? So there must be something in there that we're not knowing about, right? Right? Where was the highest? Where is it? The highest rate for relief in the world? Where it is?
We're going off topic.
I know we're not going off topic though. We're not going off topic though because you're talking about inclusion. Yeah, you're talking about racism, this, that, the other. So we're not going off topic.
So what's your point?
My point was straight up. We shouldn't have to be forced to include anyone. Full stop. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with somebody having to come into my team because she's a female.
In history, men have had more access to things like training and education and that kind of more opportunity.
That's so. Then still, we're so in it. We're still better.
I think when you talk about equality, some people think everyone being equal, but it's about having the opportunity to try. But not everybody can do or has the skill to do every single job. So it's about giving everyone the opportunity to go for it and be considered for it. Institutions that have got their ways, they're kind of set kind of thoughts, feelings, what are they called? Yeah, like
cultures.
the cultures, yeah. Like how they're used to doing things and how things are presented is not encompassing of all backgrounds, and it's not necessarily your race or your religion, it's your upbringing. Like if you've come from a background where your parents have worked or your mum stayed at home, and your parents are from, they say, working class background, their aspirations for you might be high, or they might be, I'll just go, just go and paint with your dad, you know, and keep the family tradition going. So it's kind of who's behind you and what drives people to uplift themselves as individuals.
And to add to what you just said, I remember seeing a cartoon, and it was kids of various heights trying to look over a fence. And then I think in the next cartoon strip or whatever they call it, there was ladders given to each one in order for them to be able to see over the fence equally.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, inclusion and equality is that thing. It's literally those ladders and steps given to those people who have because of different heights can't see over the fence, to be able to be able to enable them to see over the fence.
You see these ladders you're talking about, yeah? That means if they're all going to be the same height, even if this guy can already see over the fence, he don't need a ladder, innit? He don't need one, right? We can agree on that one, yeah? So most of them don't need a ladder, innit? So that means if we made them all a ladder, yeah, we're going to be wasting some wood and time making ladders we don't need, right? See, that's the problem with inclusion. Sometimes just waste times and it does hinder, man. You don't need it.
I think why we talk about inclusion...
Include who you want, innit? Whether it helps you or it don't.
Because there aren't people with broad-minded.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the ones you don't include then, innit?
Inclusion is important. Inclusion is important to move on from the past and certain.
Is it?
Yes. So certain discriminations that took place, say if someone is disabled or because of their race or because of their sex, like women weren't allowed to vote, and so we've got to move forward with the times and, you know, be more up to date. And so when someone, for example, goes to apply for a job, that the majority are Caucasian, white, and so they want to bring more women and men, and they want to bring more women, Asians, and black people into the Royal Air Force. So it shows that in the past, it was in a very kind of old-fashioned mentality, and that time doesn't suit this where we are now, in the present moment. We can't live in the past. All there is now. So moving forward from that, you need to include people, because, you know, UK is a cosmopolitan country. It has people of all races, of all walks of life. So they all deserve an opportunity.
You look at now, people travel a lot more. So people are crossing. It's not like segregated by where you're living or where you were born. So there's so much. In the 1960s was when women were allowed to have a bank account. That's only...
The suffragettes, they fought.
You got us back now, though, innit?
We live in a feminist era.
So you're happy with that?
The women
now?
are having the
See,
power.
Here's the problem. Hold
Yes.
on. About old times. Do you know what never changes and has never changed? Ever. It's the way we save people. Women and children first. Yeah? Not the children, then the women. It's the women, then children. Yeah, there's a reason for this. It's logic. Yeah, see, women are more rational than men, you know. Do you understand? So that's why when you go and look at all your philosophers and all your thinkers, name me one woman. You can't. It's not because she couldn't write or couldn't think. No, brother, it's because what she had to say wasn't as smart as what he had to say.
No, it's because it was suppressed and controlled by a man.
So you're telling me a man suppressed
and brushed under the carpet.
You're not letting me talk now, but hold on, you're telling me that a man suppresses...
So that's why you're trying to overtalk me now.
I was talking. So you're telling me that a man suppresses his mum when she wants to talk? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me?
Some men probably perhaps do.
No. In general, when a man is getting spoken to by his mum, does he suppress her? Or does he acknowledge what she's saying?
I don't know.
Oh, cool, there you go then.
I'm not
but
a
we
man.
can't go now because we're generalising. And in general, all the men I know, he's a man, ask him. When my mum's saying something, yeah, I'm listening to what she's saying. For one, she's a woman. I like women. I want to learn women. I want to be with a woman. So I'm going to listen to what mum's saying. You get me?
But I'll come back to the point where I think this particular topic is around inclusion and not necessarily about only gender. So I'll talk about disability. Disability to me is one of the areas in which I'm strongly an advocate for greater inclusion. I think inclusion has given us the opportunity to work within that field to be able to provide opportunities for people with various disabilities to bring them into the social being more. So we have something called the social model of disability, for example. Basically, it's society that makes a lot of these people more disabled than they actually are. For example, if someone is in a wheelchair, to be able to put the light switch at a level that someone within a wheelchair can be able to turn on the light instead of putting it way up. So, But previously, we wouldn't be thinking about any of these things.
No, we would have, man.
Actually, unfortunately, we haven't.
You don't think so?
We haven't.
We need to look at invisible disabilities such as mental health as well.
Exactly.
So mental health, I'm a mental health advocate, is a disability that you cannot see, and it can affect you getting roles. And so, you know, as people are creating more awareness around mental health, you know, they should open up and include people, and that should not detriment them when they're applying for roles, if they're able to do the jobs and get the right help, you know, to move forward and have the right access to, you know, at work, you know, to speak with a counsellor or, you know, something to help them move forward, and so they can progress within their career and not just be written off because they have an invisible disability such as mental health.
I think the whole working from home phenomenon has made it easier for us to actually allow people to work from home. And so therefore, you're more likely to be disabled and be at home unemployed. But by working from home actually gives opportunities for people who can't move around easily to be able to work from home and get into inclusion or into employment. So, you know, so that's why I would say generally we're all in agreement that inclusion is generally a good thing. However, there are certain instances where it may be a bit of a grey area.
Me personally, I'm trying to define when you're saying disabilities or disabled. I don't know what it is. Disabled, unabled, handicapped, what is it?
Equality language has moved a long way. So there's certain terms that we don't tend to use anymore. Or when we talk about disabilities, there can be seen and unseen disabilities, and also can also include certain illnesses as well. So
I know that, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to define the word disability for me.
I should define it.
For me.
Okay, who's got ChatGPT here?
No, forget that, because you're talking about you're not. So I'm saying, so, all right.
Who's got ChatGPT here? Because
so I'm saying though, I can't even define the word we're talking about.
So employers will normally employ someone based on the fact that they may think that you're capable of doing the job, and yes, you may have an illness or disability, which we know we're going to discuss the meaning of at some point, but and that employer, under the Equality Act, and I believe it's 2010, if I'm not mistaken, 2010.
Schematics, it don't even matter.
Yeah. Employers have to make reasonable adjustments for you as an employee for you to be able to work there. Now, remember, previously we had a Disability Act. I think that was 1995. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And it was updated in 2010.
Verified.
So that's why reasonable adjustments are put in place. However, there are instances where employees wouldn't even look at your application if they saw a certain illness or ailment there, because for them, it's easier for them to just go and employ someone else where they don't have to put in reasonable adjustments. So reasonable adjustments could be adjustable chairs, adjustable tables, level access to an office block, certain screens, a certain mouse that may be used, that you be able to use, etc., etc., etc. Or even as rudimentary as giving you access to allowing you to be able to take days off to be able to go to the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. If someone's going to be a bodyguard, you ain't going to be a good bodyguard in a wheelchair, are you? No disrespect, but you're not in it. Like this, Whitney Houston. What's his name again? Kevin Costner. Imagine Kevin Costner being in a wheelchair in that film, being a bodyguard. Nah, come on, man. So don't matter. Whatever kind of wheelchair you want to bring, he's still not going to be as good as a bodyguard. So we ain't going to make no reasonable adjustments for them, are we? Really? So, like I'm saying, when you're saying some employers are going to look at that, yeah, obviously, because if I was trying to hire a bodyguard, the first thing I see is a wheelchair, I wouldn't even know. Your name wouldn't matter to me. You ain't getting the job.
But
no. There's no buts.
No, there is
not hiring
a but.
man to be a bodyguard if he's on wheels. No disrespect.
Okay, but let me
a,
get
it happen to me.
bodyguard could have mental health, but still get the job as a bodyguard,
And you know
and that
what?
is an invisible
You're right.
disability
Yeah, and they hired the wrong guy
under
then,
the
didn't they?
Equal Opportunities Act.
Yeah, and they hired the wrong guy, right? Then they definitely hired the wrong guy. You'd agree with me then, innit? If they hired a mental man, a man with mental health issues for a bodyguard, they hired the wrong guy, right?
Not
Or
necessarily.
whatever, you can't win with you then.
Not necessarily.
You can't win with you. Now you're telling me that they didn't necessarily go wrong by hiring a guy to be the bodyguard that's got mental
There's
issues.
different extremes that
Yeah,
you can
but
have
we're
mental
talking
health,
about the
and
extreme that
you
you're talking
can manage it,
We're
and
talking
it
about the
is
extreme you're
a
talking
disability.
We're talking about the extreme you're talking about.
I'm not talking about an extreme.
No, but you did.
You're putting words in my
No,
mouth.
you just said it.
No, I'm saying
So we rewind the tape back. You just said it. I don't put nothing in your mouth.
you can rewind the tape back.
Sure. Run the tapes.
A bodyguard could have mental health, but still get the job as a bodyguard.
Okay.
If
I
you like.
listen, I'm answering. I'm replying to what you're saying. I ain't putting nothing in your mouth.
So a bodyguard could be employed if they had, say, for example, an invisible disability such as mental health, which can be managed. Mental health can be something as small as, you faced traumatic childhood or something like that, which you can manage. But it doesn't mean that you cannot fulfill a job as a bodyguard. So people wouldn't say that that's a disability, but it is classified as it is.
You're right.
So if they need time off to go and see the doctor as a job, as a bodyguard, then they will have those extra provisions put in place.
All right, so forget the wheelchair then, for real. If there was a guy there with one leg, compared to a guy there with two legs, who are you going to choose to be your bodyguard? Well, you have to think about that. If you have to think about it, then there's no need for you even getting a bodyguard. You're finished. Who would you choose?
You see, this is all.
Bro, who would you choose? The one with two legs or the one with one leg?
Let me.
No, because now we're going to listen. Just answer me quick. And answer my question first, and I'll listen to your verse.
I'm about to answer it.
So what? The one with one leg or two legs?
Because the thing is, he could have lost his leg in war. He could have gone.
Yeah,
to,
he could have, but
he could have gone to Afghanistan, and now he's got a prosthetic leg.
But he still can't look after as good as the one that's got two legs.
Who says?
Me. The dude with two legs that can run down the road after the dude that just freaking tried to kill you.
The dude with two legs is
Jason Bourne.
No. The bodyguards. They've got to have training. Yeah, they've both got to be specialists. They've both got to know their weapons. It's just this one can kick your ass with 2 feet. This one's got one. He's got a hop while he does it. And you're going to tell me you're going to choose the one with one leg to be your bodyguard?
Because inclusion.
Come on, allow it, man. Talking rubbish. This is why the world is fucked up, because it's political correct bullshit.
Because inclusion's come so far now.
Inclusion.
He's probably got.
Cool, but you know what? He ain't going to be included there. He ain't going to be included
a
in my
bionic
security
leg,
team.
like the
Cool.
Terminator.
And you know what? And you know what's going to happen? He's
Like
going to
the
break that and not
Terminator.
even realise. And he's not going to be included in my security team.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And that's why my security team will be better than all you
Yeah.
security team. If you're choosing him, you're going to pick a bunch of dudes that's got no legs and one legs and that, bro. Nah, man, my team is beating your team, bro. It makes no sense. It's like a 40-year-old white dude and a white belt in karate.
There are specific jobs that there is a bias towards.
Yeah, but it's necessary.
People may not apply for them just to be included.
Yes.
It doesn't mean they're going to apply for every job because they don't feel they're able to do it. So therefore, they won't even go for that job because they say, well, I can't really do that effectively, so I won't even bother.
No.
So they won't put themselves through the process.
But you get guys like me that still will. And like he said, there's dudes there that will read your thing, and they'll see something and say, no. And I'm saying sometimes that can be, but you know what? Sometimes it's necessary. Simple as, I ain't gonna apply for somebody to be breastfeeding my kids and look for a man, am I?
Thank you for your participation. It's been topical. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the next episode. See ya.